Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This video is not a DIY project or a gear review, so if that's what you're looking for, just go to the last video or skip to the next video. Every year around Father's Day, I find myself looking at the state of fathers and fatherlessness and often just feeling a bit depressed. And in past years, I've made videos going over the statistics around fathers and the effects of not having an involved father in a family and the negative impact that has on children and families. Kids without fathers are less likely to be successful in school, less likely to be successful in a career, have a higher chance of having negative health outcomes, a higher chance of addictive behaviors, criminal behaviors, and overall just engaging in destructive behaviors either to themselves or to other people. But that's only half of the story. In the past years, there's been a growing trend of young people, young men and young women, and some not so young, who are choosing not to have families, choosing not to engage in relationships for a number of different reasons, for fear of outcomes from those relationships, or just struggles overall with dating or with relationships at all. Now, I will admit, I've watched a lot of these struggles and issues a bit from the outside. I've been happily married for 9 years, and I have kids. I haven't been engaged in the dating or relationship game for a long time. I'm not directly involved in a lot of the struggles that people are facing, and I'm also not deeply involved in social media where a lot of these struggles and things are taking place. I do watch these issues though, and I stay as informed as I can because I have kids, and I know that one day my kids are going to grow up, and the relationship and social landscape that they will have to navigate is going to be very different than what my wife and I have faced, and even than what exists now. Regardless of what changes, I'm still going to need to be able to help them as they get through that part of their life because I'm their father. Now, as I've watched the trends happening online and I've seen the meltdowns happening over trad wives or the soft guys, and I've seen young men and women become ever more disillusioned with the thought of ever having a meaningful, long-lasting relationship, I've just become more and more convinced of three things. Well, four things, but three things. There are some things that will be true about relationships no matter what else changes in social media, in society. There are some truths that will always be true. Number one is you need to be honest. If you want to have any sort of lasting relationship with anybody, whether that's a marriage and family type relationship or even just friendships, you need to start by being honest. And you have to start by being honest with yourself. It's incredibly easy to lie about yourself, especially online. Your profile pic can be of an anime character. You can use filters on all of your images. You can have AI generated pictures and content and video even. But you need to start by being honest, and start by being honest with yourself. Don't lie or misrepresent yourself just to impress someone. Don't say or do things just because you think that they will like you more. That is the worst foundation for any relationship. Don't tell someone you go to the gym every day and work out because you know that they're a fitness buff when the last time you saw the inside of a gym was in junior high. It's not going to work out, and starting any type of relationship with a lie is a guarantee that that relationship was going to fail. So be honest, don't lie to yourself, and then don't lie to other people. The second thing is to learn to communicate. No relationship will ever last without communication. That sounds like just some thing that people would say, but it is the truth. And communication is something that you can learn. It's also something you have to practice. Communication is more about listening to what other people are saying to you than it is telling them what you want them to know. And that goes for both people. A relationship will only work if both people are willing to listen, and not listen just to validate why they think they're right, or just listen so that they can get on to their next talking point, but actual communication where you're willing to listen, you're willing to think about what the other person says. You may not like other people's opinions, you may not understand their opinions, but you do have to listen to their opinions. And you need to be able to express your opinions clearly and concisely without arguing over those opinions. If you can learn to communicate effectively and to listen effectively, then you will have a pretty strong basis for developing a relationship, especially if you have already started by being honest and not lying about things to yourself or to other people to begin with. To be totally honest, communication is something that I struggle with sometimes. There's a lot of times when I just don't want to talk, I don't like conflict, and it can be very hard to do. But I know how to communicate well, even when I don't like to do it. And that is the important part, is that when I need to communicate and I need to have a hard conversation, I can, even if I don't always want to. And I also can listen even when I don't always want to. Number 3 is you need to recognize that you are going to change. The things that you do now are not the things that you are going to do 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. And if you are looking to form a relationship with someone or build a family, if that's your goal, then the things you do now are definitely not the things that you will be doing 10 years in the future. You don't have to change your values. You don't have to change your core beliefs. Those aren't the things that have to change. In fact, it's important from the beginning that you seek out someone who shares those values and those core beliefs, because that's going to reduce a lot of conflict that you have with other people. Represent yourself honestly, seek out people with the same values and beliefs as you have, and then work on forming a relationship around some common hobbies or interests that you can share, instead of starting with the common interests and then finding out that you don't really have anything in common with this person at all. You just both happen to like something that you did on the weekends. So before you seek out any relationships, think about your core values and beliefs and figure out what things are hardline issues for you that you're not willing to compromise on. And then seek out people who share those values with you. Hobbies, activities, those will change. Those are going to change anyway. Figure out what it is that you can't compromise on, what beliefs you have that are important enough to you, and seek out people who share those beliefs. It's a lot easier to figure out the shared responsibilities of a family and a household if you both have a strong set of values that your relationship was based on. And the last thing, and this is very unlikely to happen, but that would be to just get offline. This is hard to do, especially in society now, but for the sake of your physical health and mental health, really just get offline and go out and hang out with real people and do real things sometimes. As the kids say, go touch grass. The only way the epidemic of fatherlessness will end is if men decide to end it. I think that that needs to start by building stronger relationships. And that means from the very beginning, building committed, long-lasting relationships that will lead into stronger families. Better yourself, then seek out a relationship, build a family, and be a father. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you next time.